Nigerian President Bola Tinubu expressed deep concern about the Gabon coup's potential to spread autocracy in Africa and pledged to collaborate with other African Union leaders to respond. The coup involved annulling an election, dissolving national institutions, and arresting key figures, including a son of the former president. Tinubu stressed the importance of upholding the rule of law in Africa and called for a united African leader response. Additionally, the Muslim rights concern, MURIC, warned the Nigerian military against taking a similar path and advised them to remain apolitical while addressing security challenges. The Commonwealth expressed concern over the coup, emphasizing the need for democracy and the rule of law among member states. In Gabon, citizens celebrated the end of a long-standing dynasty, with coup leaders citing governance issues as their reason for taking action. The situation has raised both domestic and international concerns, with calls for a peaceful resolution and the restoration of democratic institutions.
Coups are unacceptable. We do not want coups. We don't like them. But also, election manipulation and rigging by African leaders are unacceptable. All sorts of electoral shenanigans by our leaders too are unacceptable. Victimization of the people by our leaders too are unacceptable. And the leaders should watch it. And why I say they should watch it is the fact that when you check the origin of most of these coups, I can count by the top of my head 2 or 3 coups that happened after elections. So our leaders should also watch it. If coups are not acceptable, also manipulation and bad leadership is not acceptable on the African continent. Secondly, as regards what is happening in Gabon, I do not think it is triumphant yet, or the people of Gabon can rejoice. When they say it's the end of a Bongo dynasty, I said no. Because Nguema is actually first cousins with the person he toppled. So he's still in the Bongo clan, but just a different surname. And the question is, this same Nguema benefited from them. He was very rich. Now we are seeing pictures of the Senate president and other key government functionaries trying to cut away the remaining billions they have and then being apprehended. But this same Nguema, if you check what he has, is worth billions. So the people is still pretty much at disadvantage in all of this. Except they are forced to ensure there's a proper transition timeline and they return power back to a civilian elected leader. But if we don't do that, it's still in the same cycle. So it's not a break from the Odinga family. It's just another bunch of guys for their own interests. Thirdly, the things happening in Rwanda and Cameroon. The truth is, Paul Biya should know that it is time to go. Paul Kagame should know that it is time to go. P Square, Paul, they should know that it is time to go. If they are not getting the memo, they should get it now. Paul Biya got in there using all sorts of sentiments after President Ahijo. He has not gone. How can you lead a country where you hardly stay? The country Cameroon has snowballed into a lot of crisis now. You're having the Amazonian crisis because of bad leadership and marginalization. You are always somewhere in Europe with Madame Chantel, while the young people in your country suffer. Is it a time for all of this to be over in Cameroon? Because at the age of your 90s, you still want to go for another election cycle again. And even if we can commend Paul Kagame as a visionary for the modern Rwanda, your success is not as good until you have a successor. So rejigging the military will not be the best solution. The best solution will be, when is it time to hand over power to the people? Because you are not the people's hero. One way or the other, the people will find other heroes. You are just playing your part in history. And isn't it time for you to go? President Tinubu still talking, and I commend President Tinubu as regards what he's doing now in Niger, diplomacy, still talking with the Nigerians and saying we don't want war. Yes, he should talk more with the junta. And hopefully the junta too will be able to respond. But the junta too is also solidifying its base in power, trying as much as possible now to remove every vestige of France in the country. But the French ambassador says it's not going anywhere. That's a very sticky issue they should be careful about. But kudos to President Tinubu on this. Hopefully we solve the Niger crisis. And hopefully most African leaders also understand the implications of their actions, their bad leadership, their seat-tightism. And other African leaders too that have continued this. The Eyedema dynasty in Togo, the Sassou Nguessos of this world, the Theodore Obiang of this world. It can't last forever. We all saw what happened to Bouteflika. And Bouteflika thought he could be in Nigeria forever. It cannot last. All of these leaders should go back and learn from Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. When Mandela took power after being in incarceration for 27 years, Mandela could have chosen to be life president of South Africa. But have they ever asked why Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela said, I'm not the hero alone, and he did one term and he left? Today we shower encomiums on Mandela. Other leaders, go and learn what make Mandela tick before you quote him. Good morning.
African leaders have suddenly turned their military formation to football, where you change players. Just change players. This one is not playing well, that one is not playing well. This is serious matters here at ONIF TV. Now the matter where they happen for Africa. Cool, now the thing now for Africa. So that's what is happening. We don't know what we are going to wake up to meet tomorrow morning. That's the truth. So we just wake up one morning, Gabon is gone down. You know, we just wake up another morning. That we don't know even who is next. We said they fear. We don't know who they next. You know. I bet share this video. Make we talk this one again. I talked about Kagame, Rwanda's president, you know, approving the retirement of about almost 1,000 officers, you know, in his army. And here we are with Cameroon's 90-year-old president. You see, I had blasted tongue, self. Me self the tongue. 90 years president. Look, just as I was discussing with somebody yesterday, you can't have a 90-year president and expect to have a calm, and expect to have a vibrant country. No, it's impossible. The oil flows from the head to the leg. It flows from the head. Show me your head, and I will tell you what the body looks like. Show me who is leading you, and I will automatically tell you where you are heading to. It's key. You see, life is principled. And you see, what is a principle? A principle is like, you know, mathematics. Except something goes wrong. Once there is an equation or there is a question, the answer must be the same, whether you are in Nigeria, or you write it in Cameroon, or you write it in Canada, or you write it in 2 + 2 is equal to 4. That's principle. That means it doesn't change anything. Location has no effect on it, and come to think of it just remains. 90-year-old president. I understand, you know, like you can see, that's him. I understand that it was on his Twitter, and the President Paul Biya, you can check it, you know, decree appointing officials to the Ministry of Defense, probably putting his family members there so that they'll protect him. But I don't tell you now. This is Cameroon's 90-year-old president, Paul Biya, makes significant changes in the Ministry of Defense. He has just appointed personnel at the internal and external service of the ministry. Biya has been Cameroon's president since 1982. He was the prime minister from 1975 to 1982. And he has been president since then. Hey, Kaya Labayagada. Ah. What are we saying, Seth? 90-year-old. He won't die there. Oga, let me hear what the people is saying. Let us see what the people is saying. This is coming from King's Mill. He said, no be by changing Ministry of Defense, hand go soon touch you. You've been president since 1982. Years before I was born. He's been president before I was born. And so for those of you who saw my birthday yesterday, so you know that he's been president before I was born. For how long do we want to? Now this person says, is it fear catch him? This is 2023. Africa has woken up. I said it. Africa has woken up. And you see that when you look at the military formations that are taking over government in those countries, you see that they are the young ones. The older ones are not even struggling with them. The young ones, they leave the young ones to do the job. You saw the one in Burkina Faso. Look at the one in Mali. You know, I think the one in Niger is just the one who is a bit, you know. But no be elderly people. They are vibrant young chaps. That guy in Burkina Faso is brilliant. The Mali guy too, brilliant. They mean what they are saying. Autocratic democracy is no democracy. State capture democracy is no democracy. Unconstitutional democracy is no democracy. For how long do we want to continue like this? And like I would always tell you, when I pray for people, I say, oh, we'll be well. And when I say, oh, we'll be well, I know what I'm saying. Because I know we can't continue like this. And that's the truth. We cannot do what? Continue like this. He said, if we can't have a clear election and our elected leaders, then we don't need democracy. This is coming from TNTC. I read one of your comments earlier on when I was talking about Paul Kagame. If you like, sack everybody and bring in anybody, you will only succeed in putting the people that will take you down. You know what? That's what I said. You will only be bringing in, and the point is that the people you are taking out could even be more, you know, easier to manage than the people you are bringing in. The people you are bringing in are on the outside, so they are tired already. So when you now bring them in, you are brought them to the right place. Because I don't know what this man is looking for. What is he looking for? What is he looking? He don't dey chop in his children life. You know, Yoruba go talk so onjaye omo emaye. He don't dey chop in children life. Even children, 90-year-old man. If I don't see in 4th generation now. Well, this person said, this TNTC says, he says the wind is blowing and it will blow you away. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Let me see if I can pick one more comment. Somebody said, you know, I mentioned it that time. This is coming from J. Stephen. He said, now, he don't put the real people we go topple am. Bia, you can't run from the inevitable. And that's the truth. You can't run from the inevitable. I beg, I wish I could read all the comments I'm seeing here, and they are just pointing in the same direction. You can't run away from the realities. You can't run away from the fact that you are not fit. You are not supposed to be where you are, and that's why the country is stagnant. But the point is that the unfortunate part is that you don't care. You people don't care whether the people are suffering, whether the people are crying, whether the people are weeping. It doesn't matter. And so that's why people can gather and say, let the poor breathe. And you can laugh. Let the poor breathe. Let them breathe. Let them in the same country. Resources that belong to all of us. They are saying let them. As if some people are supposed to be more advantageous than the other. As if some people are supposed to be closer to the national cake than others. And so when somebody wants to eat, you hold the hand of the person and continue eating. It's only a matter of time. Well, this is still serious matters here at ONIF TV. And, you know, Like I would always say, you are free to drop a comment, make them simple and civil. I talked about that one. This one again, I don't mention now. I expect say you go talk something. Let us know what your mind is, what your thoughts are on this particular one. Let's react to them. Thank you very much for watching. This is Still Serious Matters. Bye bye.